my goodness, man. I am excited for the rest of this season. Wow. I actually have a little secret in store for you guys, so I hope you guys are ready for a little bit longer of a video because I have a little something extra in there for you today. So let's get rolling. We are 9 weeks into this bitch. We only got 2 regular season weeks left, and we are getting rolling here on the power rankings for the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Let's get rolling. Number 12 is going to be the Mexi Narco, staying solid there at number 12, 2-7 on the season. Derrick Henry, he caught a receiving touchdown this week. You don't always see that, so I had to point him out. I love Derrick Henry. If you don't love Derrick Henry, go on to his Wikipedia and check out his high school stats, and then you're going to love him. This motherfucker put up numbers in high school. And he was really good at Alabama, too. Next, Kenyon Drake. What a pickup for Erico. It's probably a 1 week thing because David Johnson actually just saw that he said he's 100% playing this week. And they also have Chase Edmonds, who's really good. But Drake performed really well for the Cardinals on Thursday night. So, good start by Eric there. Moving on to number 11, staying consistent at number 11, Hopkins lymphoma. 2 in a row for Galley, 3-6 on the season. He has Miguel's. That's not right. It's not Miguel Sanu. What am I doing? Mohamed Sanu. Miguel is a baseball player, but Mohamed Sanu played really well for the Patriots this particular week. Had 10 catches. He's probably going to be right in the wide receiver 2 conversation for the rest of the year. And then you have Matt Stafford, who's out there straight slinging right now for the Lions. Moving on, number 10, staying consistent at number 10, even though he's got a good record. He's right in the middle. As you guys probably well know, there's a 1-game difference between the 3 seed and the 10 seed right now, which is absolutely unbelievable. I love to see that. But number 10 is Jackson, winning his second in a row, coming up to 4-5 on the season. Mike Evans is going to get his numbers. You know, no matter how bad Jameis Winston is, which I do think that he is, even though he had a pretty good game this week, Evans is that dude. He's always going to put up numbers for them. And then Chris Carson did a really good job. That Seahawks offense is electric. Wowzers. They are good. You have Russ Wilson, who, in my opinion, is a front runner for the MVP, especially with Mahomes being hurt. He's been great. He's been awesome. And Chris Carson gives them the dynamic of the run to pass that they really need. Moving on, number 9, moving up or going down a spot is No Luck Ponies, winning his 3rd in a row. Nacy got Melvin Gordon into the end zone 2 times. Great game for Melvin. And then the Buffalo defense, I think we actually talked about this week. Nace decided to start them over New England, who's been the best in all of fantasy football of any position. And it was a good start. Helped them get the win over SEC Network this week. Moving on to number 8, Goff, Hawk, and Lockett. 6-3 on the year. Lost their 2nd in a row. In the thick of the playoff race, number 2 seed right now. Tyreek Hill was really good. You love to see him still producing with Matt Moore. And then Tyler Lockett. Holy fuck, man. Tyler Lockett, he's a wide receiver 1. And it ain't even close. He's a number 3 wide receiver in all of fantasy right now. He has been unbelievable. He's a bona fide superstar out there on the outside for Russell Wilson. Moving up to number 7, jumping up 2 spots, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective. Utah getting a much-needed win, getting right back in the thick of the playoff race at 4-5. He has Josh Jacobs and Hunter Henry, 2 rivals of the Chiefs, but Jacobs has been great all year. Hunter Henry is a tight end 1, and right now, I can tell you, I wish I had a tight end 1. They are hard to come by this year, and Utah's definitely got one of Hunter Henry. Moving on to number 6, Jay Money, moving down a spot. He's 4-5 on the season, though. Him and I got in a tussle this week. His 2 Thursday night guys really set the precedent for him this week, as Emmanuel Sanders, George Kittle were both fantastic for the 49ers. This Niners offense is explosive. They're good. So you love to see that. And Jay Money right in the thick of the playoff race. And you're going to hear more from him in the little surprise segment I have for you at the end. Also wearing my LSU Omaha shirt, which is a tradition that Jay Money and I have. If you guys have never been to College World Series, I highly, highly recommend it. It's incredible. And anytime you go anywhere, Jay Money is a good time. Moving on to number 5, dropping down, or moving up 1 spot, is Off in the Woods, up to 5-4 on the year. Jordo really having a good season. He gets Mahomes back maybe this week, so you love to see that. Noah Fant, big pickup for Jordan, as he is the big week from the Broncos. He had that 75-yard touchdown. And then Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is, I think, a running back 2 now in my estimation. He's kind of taking the bullhorns there in that Buffalo backfield. And he is over, I think, Frank Gore in the depth chart, which is huge for Singletary and Jordan. Moving on to number 4, dropping down 1 spot, SEC Network, 5-4 on the year. Right in the thick of the playoff race, Nick Chubb. I wanted to bring him up because we all know how great Nick Chubb is. But how big is his role going to be whenever Kareem Hunt comes back? I still think big because I don't think Kareem Hunt is anywhere close to as good as Nick Chubb. But as much problem as they've had in Cleveland, I'm sure they're going to mix in Kareem Hunt quite a bit. And then you have Adrian Peterson, the ageless wonder. Wow, I don't know how he does it, man. He's old, and he just keeps trucking that ball. Doesn't care about the score, doesn't care about nothing. That motherfucker just gets a rock, and he goes. So big time from Adrian Peterson. Moving up to number 3, dropping down 1 spot. Insert team name here, 4-5 on the season. Essentially an elimination game this week against No Luck Ponies, in my estimation. He probably could maybe still squeeze in with a loss, but we'll see. Jalen Samuels, a great start as he got the start for the Steelers. He got a lot of catches, which is huge in our PPR league. And then also got big time Dame Will. Man, he might be taking that backfield by surprise over there in Kansas City. Looked like McCoy had the start, or he was the starter, but now it looks like Damian Williams will be coming in. I would stay away from that backfield at all costs because I don't know, like you mentioned, I just fumble my words because I don't know what the fuck's going on in that backfield. But as explosive as the Chiefs offense is, any of them can have a big day on any given week. Moving on to number 2, moving up from the 4 spot, Run CMC, 5-4 on the season. Brett's team is looking naughty. Wow. Marvin Jones, it's not even fair that he has Marvin Jones because he already has a very, very good team, and then you just throw Marvin Jones' bitch ass in there. He's now producing for the Lions, who have an explosive offense now. It's almost unfair. But a huge week for Brett as he was led the league in scoring this week, and then Lamar Jackson, he don't give a fuck that he's playing the Patriots. He beat them, made them look silly. He is so athletic. I love to watch Lamar Jackson play. One of my favorite guys to watch for sure in football. Moving on, I do have myself in the number 1 spot again, 6 in a row, 8-1 on the season. Had a big-time connection from Russ Wilson and DK Metcalf. I was losing to J Money. Things looked really bad. And then one of the most unbelievable, magical things I've ever seen in my entire life when Russell Wilson and Metcalf hooked up, and then Russell just kept throwing touchdowns and getting to overtime. Is awesome. So that's our top 12. We have Can't Guard Mike or OBJ, Run CMC at 2, Insert Team Name 3 at 3, SEC Network at 4, Off in the Woods at 5, J Money at 6, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective at 7, Goff Hawk and Lockett at 8, No Luck Ponies at 9, Scam Squad at 10, Hopkins Lymphoma at 11, and Mexi Narcos at 12. Game of the week this week. I kind of mentioned it a minute ago, but essentially a elimination game as we have Insert Team Name here versus No Luck Ponies. Both teams are 4-5. I kind of see it as that. So huge game for both these guys. And now we're moving to this new segment that I have for this week. I'm calling it Playoff Scenarios. I put a lot of work into this. I hope I got as many possibilities as I could. Took a lot of doing. So I hope that it's all right. And I'm going to revisit this next week and give you guys another playoff scenario because we only have 2 weeks left. So I'm going to go through and see what each team needs. And I'm going to roll through it with you guys from top to bottom in the power rankings. So, mathematically, Can't Guard Mike or OBJ is in the playoffs. I'm really excited about that. The 2-year absence for me, I believe, from the playoffs. So I'm excited to be back in there. So that's the first one. And then Run CMC. The playoff scenario that I have is that they need to maintain their points for because they do have they have the most points in the league this year, and then win one of their last 2 games. And then Brett, you're in the playoffs. Moving on, Insert Team Name here needs to maintain his points for because he is your 2nd or 3rd in the league in points. Needs to win his last 2 games. That's essential. He's in an elimination this week. And he could also have 2 losses from Goff, Hawk, and Lockett because that would move him to 6-5. And then if Hunter was 6-5, he would have the points for over him. Or Hunter wins one of his last 2 games, but then he also gets a loss from J Money, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective, No Luck Ponies, and Scam Squad, and then also maintains his point 4 with all those things happening. So all 4 of those teams would have to lose a game. That was pretty complicated, but we're getting even more complicated on you boys. I hope that you guys enjoy this. This is the nerd in me really coming out, so I hope you guys follow me a little bit on this. I try to keep it slow for you because a lot of information is on here. Moving on, SEC Network. SEC Network will need to maintain their points 4 and then win one of their last 2 games, similar to a situation that Run CMC is in. Since they're 5-4, they have a little bit of luxury there. Moving on to Off in the Woods, exact same situation. They maintain their points 4. I believe they're at like 16,000 or 1,600 this week or this year. Really good spot to be in. And then they win one of their last 2 games. So good. If you're in a 5-4 spot, that's the kind of spot you need to be in. Just win one of your last 2 games. Next we have J Money. He needs to maintain his points 4 because he's in a pretty good spot as well. And then, that is a tiebreaker, by the way. I'm sure you guys caught on to that already. He needs to win his last 2 games. And if he wins his last 2 games, that means that there is a loss from insert team name here. Or no, he gets a lot. And then there's also he needs to get a loss from SEC Network. or off in the woods and then pump up those points forward. Or, as we mentioned, Goff, Hawk, and Lockett, 2 losses will bring him to 6-5, and J Money would have the tiebreaker over him with points for. Moving on to Gase Ventura, Jet Detective. He needs to win his last 2 games. And if he wins his last 2 games, that means that Off in the Woods and J Money lose, which are 2 guys that he's going against right now, to get into that playoff race. He also would need to score more points than Off in the Woods, because right now Off in the Woods has a points for over him, but it's close. Or get the 2 losses from Goff, Hawk, and Lockett, and then score more than him. And then Goff, Hawk, and Lockett right there. What a segue. All he needs to do is win one of the last 2 games, and then he's in. Or he can get losses from, just 1 loss, but 1 loss from insert team name here, J Money, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective, and the No Luck Ponies and Scam Squad. So pretty much every team is 4-5. Then you move on to the No Luck Ponies. No Luck Ponies will need to win their last 2 games. And that would mean that insert team name here loses this week. They would need to score more points than J Money and Gase Ventura, Jet Detective. Or they can score more points than either J Money or Gase Ventura, Jet Detective, and then also get those 2 losses from Goff, Hawk, and Lockett, and then score more than Goff, Hawk, and Lockett. Pretty complicated. I hope you guys are still following me on here. I got all this together yesterday. This is a lot of information. I didn't realize how much I had on here. Moving on, we have 2 teams left for their playoff scenarios. Then we have Scam Squad. Scam Squad will need to win his last 2 games. If he does that, that means that insert team name here loses, which is the team he's competing with. That's also 4-5. He needs to score more points than J Money, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective, and No Luck Ponies. Or either J Money, so 2 of these 3, J Money, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective, and No Luck Ponies, 2 of those 3, he'll need to score more points than, and then also get those 2 losses from Goff, Hawk, and Lockett and score more than Goff, Hawk, and Lockett. That's a very confusing one there for you, Jackie. And then moving on, Hopkins Lymphoma will need to win his last 2 games, and if he does that, No Luck Ponies loses, and then insert team name here, J Money, Gase Ventura, Jet Detective, and Scam Squad will all need to lose at least 1 game, but then he'll need to also score more points than all of those teams, and he had a little bit of room to go on that. And then Mexi Narcos, unfortunately, Erico has pretty much been eliminated from playoff competition. Not technically yet, but a lot of shit would have to happen for it to happen. And since No Luck Ponies and insert team name here are playing this week, one of those teams is guaranteed to have a 5th win. So there we go. I hope that wasn't too much for you guys. That was a little bit of information, but those are the playoff scenarios. Really excited for the end of the regular season here. And then week 12 will be the play-in game. The 3 seed will play the 6 seed, and the 4 seed will play the 5 seed. And then weeks 13 and 14 will be the semifinals. 15, 16 will be the championship. Love all you guys. That's it. I'm done talking for today, and I will talk to you next week. This is the Commiss, signing off.